Good morning, is it from Zetster's Lab. I'm sitting in my workroom between all the things that I've come to love. Oh my goodness, it always feels like Christmas when I'm here because so many things that I love, so many things to do, so many things that speak to me, and the awesome thing that I've learned the last couple of months is so many things, new things to learn. Oh my goodness. And here my little, Charlie Chaplin also wants to say hi. It's his playtime and now mommy wants to make a video, so he's not very happy. But this morning husband woke up and he said, Goeiemorgen. And I thought that means good morning in Afrikaans. And I said, is it a good morning? And that made me think, is it or isn't it? That depends on me, how I see it. Do I see it as a good morning? Or do I see it, just another day that I need to get through? What a terrible life. Or do I view it as, wow, a brand new day, a good day. This is going to be a good day. And that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy day. You know, that is not what it means. But when you decide, well, this is a good day, it's going to be a good day. Even those things happen that you didn't expect, didn't wish to happen, whatever. When you go in with that attitude of, it's going to be a good day. You know, the life in me, the abundant life in me is flowing. It's here. I have what I need to cope with this day. Not only cope, but live victoriously through this day. So this day is going to be a good day. It's going to be for my good, for my growth, for my whatever I need. So it's all in the mind, as they say. But yesterday, let's get back. Okay, Charlie Chaplin, go and play. So yesterday, as I was watching Wimbledon tennis, something just popped up on my YouTube wall. And I thought, wow, that looks beautiful. I have no idea what it is, but the front page of this video, I love it. I want to see what's going on. Clicked play, and boy, oh boy, I've learned something that made me hyperventilating. Most of you on the channel will most probably know this. I didn't. So that's why I'm sharing it. Because all of a sudden, I've got new stuff that is now piling up. They are between all part of all the things that I love, love, love. So I made all of these last night. I mean, while I was sitting in front of the TV. And look what I've got this morning to work with. So what I've learned, I'm now going to share with you. The link where I saw this, I'm going to link below. Because that is a fantastic instructional video of how to do. Now I need to find my little paper again that I wrote on. They call this Momigami. Momigami, it's a Japanese way of changing paper into cloth. My goodness. And you know my love for cloth. This is my lapis, my cloths that I have jelly plate printed. Some of them I need to do again because I'm running out of jelly plate printing on cloth. So that is a love of mine, and now I found this. My goodness, it cannot be easier. So that is why I am going to share it with you. I thought this morning, let me come and sit and make some more and experiment. And then I thought, oh man, let's just make a video and show you what's happening. You know, so the awesome thing is I bought some books at the charity shop. Old books that they sold for next to nothing. So I love the pages, I love the things. I thought, okay, I'm going to use them for my jelly plate printing, whatever, old magazines. And then when I saw this yesterday, watched the video, I realized, but I've got the books already. So once again, use what you have to create what you love. I'm just looking to see what Charlie Chaplin is doing, because he can get into a little bit of a mischief when he's very quiet. So immediately I ran up to my room, got some pages out and started making cloth out of papers. So what do you need to make these? The easiest thing ever. I bought this book. It's an old coffee table book. You know, these with the very thick pages, the very shiny pages. That's another thing. I enjoy my art journey. I enjoy my art things to be more natural. I don't enjoy the shiny feel in my whatever I make, if it's collages, whatever. I like the earthly feel. But once again, my life, my art journey, my happiness, my responsibility, mine will be different from yours. There's no right and no wrong. It just what speaks to you, you know? So what speaks to me is these type of earthy colors and things. So that is why I absolutely fell in love when I saw these effect. I was immediately absolutely in love. So what do you need to create this? Momigami. That is the Japanese way to make paper into a cloth-like thing. So, as I said, most of you will know it. I didn't. So what do you need? A piece of paper. So here I am. The woman on the video also said, use something that's light and dark, you know. But then once again, after 5 minutes of doing my own stuff, I decided, let me do it my way. Once again, art is all about experimenting, growing, doing things your way. So this is it. So I am going to start just by showing you how I got. Now I need to see. So some of these were out of this book. The rest were out of my paper craft. And these are thicker pages. They are more papery. But look at that one. So I am tearing that one out as well. So you need some papers. I also love that. That I also found out. Look at this one. This is just an ordinary page that has some written things on it. There you can see this was, I love, love, love this one. The colors. What I absolutely, this is just a really paper, a page out of a book. I think this one I got. Look at this. This started off like this. I mean, really? Can it be so easy? So absolutely amazing. So what do you need? With your papers, all you need are some oil. So yesterday I finished, there was about this amount of baby oil in this thing. I made all of these with that little bit of baby oil. So my oil is now done. So I went and I got some olive oil kind of things that I used on my furniture. So I am now using that. So what you do is you just start very nicely to crumble, press your paper. I mean, really? Anybody can do this? Then you just keep on doing this. So now mine is starting to work. So now you just add some oil on your hands. And you keep doing this. So what I've also realized, some is gonna tear, some pages are gonna tear, others, but who cares? That just gives it another feel. So you keep going with this. Whoopsie, because that is too much. Everything was full of oil because you know, if you know me, you know I don't go the slow route. I'm doing it my way, and that is a quick way. So what the woman actually said, and that made sense, the more you work it, the softer it becomes, and the more it becomes like a cloth. The ink on this is now also starting to blend. It's just the craziest thing. I mean, who would have thought in my wildest dreams? Then she also said they did this as children. I never did this. I've never seen it in my life. Now you just make it out again, and then you start to do it again, and you keep doing this. She said the more hard the paper, shiny, the longer, 7 to 8 minutes. But as I said, link below. I am just showing you the joy of doing this. So I can see it's coming, but I've been onto this not very long. So I don't know what's happening there. Is it 12 minutes? So this is how you do it. You keep going and you keep going. You add more oil, and this is how easy it gets. For 7, and you get some exercise in your hands. So it's a double thing. But look at it. You remember how I started off. So it gets darker. So that's why you actually need the light and the darks, and you start to lose your initial painting or whatever picture, and it became this beautiful piece of thing that starts to feel like a cloth. So I am now not going to sit here for 7-8 minutes doing this, but this is how I got that. But now what can I do with this? And I thought, oh my goodness, my gratitude journal. Can you imagine just putting this in the journal? So I did just that. I will work this one more. I'm just going to show you. This is the coffee table one. And this you can feel it's very hard. So you just start by pressing it. Because the more you need to start slowly with this, otherwise it's going to tear. But as I said, I started off with these hard ones, then I went to these ones, and then I thought, but oh, I would love in my journal and in my collages and whatever to have an ordinary paper just with some writings on it. So that's when I took other books and I just started doing this with the other pages. And as I said, this is what you see I got out of that. No, this is also one. Look absolutely how beautiful. So it really feels like cloth. Can you imagine it? Who would have thought? As I said, I am there. This is when you start off. It's still paper. You can still hear. It's very, very hard. But the more I work it, the more oil I put in. Don't do the oil like I did the previous one. Don't do it. Don't put in too much. Then it gets too soft too quickly and it tears. So you've got to work just a little bit on your hands, and then you just go for it and you start doing it. So I was even thinking, you know, I wanted to say, what's an ordinary person gonna do with these things, you know? And I thought, imagine your friends having a birthday, or someone is sick, or whatever, and you just want to go and visit. So you have a soap, a little soap, or a little chocolate that you bought, or whatever. But can you imagine just wrapping it in this? Just wrapping it beautifully in something like this, with a flower in, and what, you know, it's just something else. So I'm gonna do slow stitching on this. I'm gonna use it in my gratitude journals. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with them actually. But what I do know is, once again, creating them, doing this, makes me very, very happy. I just love it. I just love going through them. So you can hear, this one is no longer just paper. This is starting to feel and become like cloth. And one of my desires was, that's also why I am now trying my hand at bio-dyeing, whatever you call it, eco-dyeing, where you use leaves and things to dye your cloth and rust. I want to get to really, really these earthy things. When I walk on the beach, I'm also looking and searching to see, perhaps isn't there old cloths that were in the sea for months, you know? I haven't found them yet, but I'm looking for things like that because I love the old feel of rusty things, of old papers. And I haven't found yet the old journals and things, because most charity shops, the minute the things land into the charity shops, most of those old books and things are thrown out. So they're going immediately into the black bags, you know. So they don't even get to the charity shops. So I haven't found those ledgers yet. You remember when my parents were young, they wrote everything on these ledgers in their handwriting, and oh, it's so beautiful. Now look at this. Can you believe it? This is becoming a piece of cloth. So I can slow stitch this. I can use this just as a, can you see here? Let me just try and get this higher. So just look, when I have this and I just add a little piece, another piece on. I can tear this now and I can just put it together, or I can just add this one. Oh my goodness, a book cover. Can you see a book cover coming on here? Oh, this is gorgeous. So now I can do this. And I love the idea. I don't have to tear this smaller. It can be bulky, that one. And then I can just slow stitch it with my beautiful cotton. You know, this is actually, we call it tow. I don't know what you call it in English, but you all know what this is. But I've got my slow stitching yarns and things. So now I can just very carefully slow stitch this into a book cover or a piece of something. I don't know. So yesterday, after I finished them, some of them, I immediately grabbed my, can you see my gratitude journal is growing exponentially every day because I work in it. And that working, I mean, is just playing. I'm becoming like a child again. Some of you will have done this. They make jewelry with this and stuff. I'm not there yet. Once again, you will now take what you've seen in this video and you will, most of you will go much further with this. You know, I just go until I think, oh, now I had enough, and then I go on to the next thing because that's me. I don't enjoy going into things very deeply. You see, remember those patterns I bought? Look there, I'm now gluing them in. I've glued some of the rice paper in. I showed you, and I was just doing a face. There's faces. And I did some flowers yesterday. I don't know where they are, but oh, look at this. I mean, just playing, just sitting, not thinking. This is just watercolor, just 3 flowers, leaves, watercolor that I did on after I glued some of these pattern papers onto my pages. There you'll see another one. That was on the black and white acrylic that I put onto the page, and then I did that. That one was just one single ply of paper, and then I painted that on. Just sitting, just playing with my watercolor, no expectations, and there I have my first one that I put into my book. My first handmade Momigami. Look there, isn't it absolutely gorgeous? There it is. You can feel, it feels like cloth. It is absolutely beautiful. And guess what? It makes me excited. It makes me glad to be alive. You know, and that's why it's all what it's all about. There's another one. Once again, you can see my book. Just a little piece of paper from a book that I dyed with bori, turmeric. Really just an ordinary piece of paper. Then that is a little card, something typed on there. But now all that I am now seeing, and this is one of my new papers. But what I now see is, oh my goodness, do not put them into your book if you don't want oil all over the thing. I read one of the people that, the video that I watched, someone said she put hers in the sun for a couple of days and then they dry up. So that is what you're supposed to do before you put them into your gratitude journal or your journal. You put them in the sun, leave them in the sun for a couple of days, and that's where my challenge comes in, leaving my stuff, letting them dry. I want to immediately use them, and that's me. But also that's me. I don't care. Okay, there's now a little bit of oil on there. It's gonna eventually dry. Whatever, and it smells like baby oil, and I just love it. So I hope I've encouraged you. That's what this whole channel is all about. My journey is all about, to encourage you to try new things. People tell me, and I was like that too, my life is so boring. It's boring because you don't try new things. You're stuck in doing the same things every day and then expect others to make your life exciting. That's what I did. I expected husband, my kids, friends, whatever, to make my life exciting. Then I realized my life, my happiness, my responsibility. So what brings me tremendous joy is encouraging you to start experimenting, playing, become like a child again, get some excitement back into your life, because it has nothing to do with age. We can all do this. I mean, we all have papers, we all have oil. You can use your things that you put on your body, and you can use this to make these papers. And this is just a step on your art journey, a step on your journey. After this will lead to something else. But as I look there, just look at this. So you know me, there's one of my papers that I use a lot, coming out of this old crochet book. But just look how beautiful it is working with this. And now put this together. Can you see? Oh my goodness, it is just beautiful. So I can use this also as part of my journal or something, and just I fold this, put this in. This is the front of my journal. I mean, it's so simple, but isn't it gorgeous? It just makes me happy, brings me joy. And now in this, I can add some of my papers and just create something that when I look at it, when I feel, it just makes me glad to be alive. And what happens? What happens when you are glad? When you feel glad? When you feel joy rising up in you? It's the abundant life in you, the life, our Father's life, our spiritual life, our source's life that starts to move. And if you want peace, do something that makes you peaceful. That's how you experience the spirit of peace starting to settle in you, flow in you, move in you, and through you into the world. And that's how we create peace. That's why I always say, the only thing that you can do for your loved ones and your friends and your family and your community and the world is to work on yourself, is to do those things. This works for me, is that makes you glad to be alive, that makes you feel alive, that makes the life in you starts to flow, because that's how we start to flow and eat of the tree of life, start to walk in this realm, in the abundant life. It's as simple as that. And as simple and as difficult as that, because the world tells you you need to rush, you need to stress, you need to work, you need to force yourself, you need to, and the life in us just say, be still, become still. And that doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. Whatever your job is in this realm, do it, but become still inside while you do it. Slow down. Start to savor and enjoy the moment. I mean, I had a ball last night creating these things. It made me so peaceful, joyful, glad to be alive. And now this morning I'm doing some more and I'm sharing it with you. And that's how I share the life that is in me. You know, that's how you share the life. But first, we need to get that life in us to start moving and flowing and not block it by fear, stress, anxiety, trying to control every situation. We need to learn to just go with the flow of the life in us. Love you lots. He said from Zetster's Lab. And please let me know if you've done this. What did you do with all of these things? And what are you busy with? You know, what are you doing in your life that makes you glad to be alive? And as I said, when my kids left house and everything, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I liked. I had no clue. I felt lost. I didn't enjoy my life. My life was just one. It was boring and stressful. And it was hard. But slowly and surely, I started to find out what brings out the abundant life in me, and more I'm starting to flow in that life. Love you lots.